Hello traders, it's Jacey with Empire Algorithmic Trading, and it is time for Vwapvision's Daily Stock Talk. It's where we use the volume weighted average price to make sense of this crazy market. So let's just get right to it, shall we? It's time for Stock Talk. All right, happy Thursday, everybody. Matt is still out this week, and he will be back on Sunday for a weekly review. In the meantime, let's just take a quick look at the charts. It was a nice, quiet session, so there's really not a lot to go through. Some of the mining stocks and gold stocks that we have been watching are showing some topping patterns, some potential change of trend patterns, so we'll take a look at those. And we do have some constructive action going on in the small and the mid caps, which is actually very nice to see. So it's really good to see bonds are continuing to hold on. They're still trading above that VWAP. That morning star pattern, which is right here, where it gapped down and then gapped right back up after this quick little downtrend, that appears to be holding. This is a good sign. We need to see bonds settle down. It was a little concerning when they were starting to sell off pretty hard last week. It's nice to see that market settle down a little bit. Same thing with the S&P 500. A nice quiet inside day there. You are starting to see a little bit of lower highs, a little bit higher lows. Relatively bullish looking chart there. We'll see if that can hold. We are seeing, remember, we saw some resistance moving right into the 20-day moving average. However, that didn't last, right? And we're not seeing any clear follow through on that yet. So we'll see if it can move up from there. If it does, then that'll be a good sign. We're probably going to get up to the 5,600 mark on the S&P 500. We're currently at about 5,200. So that would be a pretty significant move for the NASDAQ, or I'm sorry, for the S&P. Kind of a similar thing with the NASDAQ, not quite as prominent, but when you look at the small caps, you can clearly see it on the small caps. It's a pretty nice looking bullish wedge looking there, and then same thing on the mid caps as well. So potential moves higher from here would be nice to see. They tend to see stocks lead a blast out of this, so a nice positive catalyst. We could see a move and a good test of the upper VWAP. So we'll see if that happens. And on a nice quiet day, the VIX did drop down. We still want to see some more contraction on the VIX. But as you would expect, on a nice quiet tightening day, you would expect the VIX to drop. And it did drop a little bit. Not as much as we would like to see, but we're getting there. We are seeing some potential change of trend patterns going on in some gold stocks. So GFI, it has kind of a evening star pattern there when you get a big strong gap like that, and then from a previous session, and then followed up by a gap down, and the three candles the bodies don't really touch. That's especially after a nice strong run like that tends to be a change of trend pattern, and we're seeing that across the board. Idaho's Strategic Resources, Anglo Gold, I mean, that's about as clear as you can get right there. You had some indecision here, followed up by a strong gap and then a big strong gap down, and that's a classic evening star pattern. New Gold, a little bit of a modified look on there. Alamos Gold, same thing, and then same thing with Newmont Corporation. Some of the metals and golds that have been leaders are showing some potential weakness there. And then I want to bring this stock up too. This is a very interesting one. It just caught my eye when I was just kind of scanning through some stocks. Had a nice strong breakout. A nice run as the market was selling off, and then as it's just kind of trading sideways and starting to tighten up. If we get a good pop, this might very well be a pretty good trade opportunity. It doesn't really fit the algorithm model. It hasn't quite flashed a sell signal, so the algorithm's not really going to be looking for a buy signal, because it did flash a buy signal back here on March 11th at 47.78. Currently trading at 60, so that's a pretty significant move, especially considering how far the market has come down. So going to keep a close eye on that one, and I'm not going to make any potential trades on it because we are still in a red zone. I'm trying to be as disciplined as I can, even though it's getting a little harder, starting to see some stocks set up. I want to see a nice confirmation rally, a good old-fashioned Will O'Neill IBD confirmation rally, maybe a push up to the VWAP, and then once we get living above that VWAP, particularly on the S&P 500, which is about 5,600, which we could see. If we can get a push back above that 20-day moving average that we saw resistance earlier in the week, the good news is it hasn't followed through on that resistance. So if we get a move higher, then we've got a pretty clear higher low. That means that we're probably going to test that 5,600 level. We get a couple of good days there. Next thing you know, we're in a green zone, and we could be potentially seeing some new runs. So In the meantime, it's just sit back, watch, let everything set up. Like we've been saying, let the market come to us. We don't need to be aggressive. We have time to wait. We can just be patient. And in the meantime, you can always subscribe to us at patreon.com/Empire Algorithmic Trading for our daily buy and sell signals. You can check us out on Vwapvision.com for more information on our model. And of course, follow us on all the social media, Facebook, Blue Sky, X, Instagram, and we're also on Spotify. So thank you, everybody, and have a nice day.